Hi guys, welcome to the very first episode of Deck Talk. I'd like to start this one out with a new deck that I just made. It came out really recently and it was a part of the pre-release on Yu-Gi-Oh! XO. And I have to say, this deck really has a flip side to it. Because at first, I thought that it would kind of be like a Necro Valley crossover, which I am currently making a hybrid for. But it actually stands alone on the way you can make people actually stop using the GY altogether, along with some of the special effects which I will be talking about today. But one thing I like most about this deck is that it actually has a lot of untapped support where you could have power draw because how low all the defense and attack are. You could summon in defense position from your hand and also get it in destructive and make it undestructed by battle if you use it on your partner's turn, since it is a quick effect. One of my favorites of this deck has to be Sophia. While there are, I guess, better monster effects in the deck like Stella or I can't pronounce this thing. Megales, I think. That's what we're gonna go with. Wow. Some of the lesser effects, what I really like is that how you could special summon and basically force off some of the more powerful zombie decks, which I really like because it's basically XYZ summoning on your on your opponent's turn. One of the few things that I really dislike about this deck is that for so much work we use to really get out the XYZ monsters, once they're out, they're sitting ducks, because especially if you're using them in a tag battle, and that's just my honest opinion, though some decks that I have seen already with these normally cross them over with Necro Valley, like I said earlier, which I think kind of hinders their full potential, but it also gives them a much needed boost. And it's also, I think it would be a good negate for banished decks, because you could cut off the GY while you banish your monsters with like a stationary card like Necros or something along that nature. Now let's talk about some of the decks that they'll really be good with. One deck that I think that they would really pair well with would be, again, Necro Valley. I also think a Trickster Bird might complement them nicely. And one deck that I honestly can say that I really wasn't expecting it to overrun is Golden Elch, because I knew that it kind of threw most people off their game with GY summons. I just didn't realize how much until I went up against a Elch deck, which was a really cool surprise, because as much as I dislike Elch, well, that's not true. I just like how most people play it, because it's honestly a really interesting deck when you're not trying to boardwalk people. So, one thing I like is that it kind of prevents people from doing that. And since my main deck is, vampires, though I haven't really played it much to really consider it as a main deck. I also kind of noticed how it makes most of the zombie types a little null and void. Though I do think that if you pair it with a really good GY deck, like if you were to go in a tag game, I think that it would go really nicely with Elch or something like of that nature, because that's when your partner's going to go, and you could basically lock somebody else out while your partner. It's a really interesting deck, and I can't wait to see like what more support comes out with, and then my friend actually paired them up with Phantom Knights, which I really didn't think was going to work because how vastly different they were. But honestly, I was very impressed. And some other deck ideas that I had with this was actually to pair them up with Magisters, which I actually saw a pro deck not too long ago with them, so I guess somebody already figured that one out. And that's really all I have to say about them so far. And we'll just see when new support comes out. Bye, everyone.